ladies and gentlemen, we have recuperated Eduardo Martinez. Recovered. No, I'm sure recuperated is a word. I'm sure we should have our
own
British
encyclopedia.
No, we have a British associate who is working, and he told me words like penultimate. How do you say penultimo in English? Penultimate. So Ben why didn't Ben come? No, he couldn't. Well, he should. We had one who speaks proper English,
British
because he's British,
okay,
as he could be. Okay, and he withstood the the match between England and Argentina. Okay, so we have Eduardo Martinez. Where have you been?
Puerto Madryn.
That a beauty.
Typical Welsh.
Tell to all our viewers in the world, where is located Puerto Madryn and why is it so beautiful?
Okay, Puerto Madryn is located in the province of Chubut. Chubut is part of Patagonia. I may say it's the biggest city in Chubut in terms of infrastructure. What really surprised me, because I was expecting something more close to small town, and it's not. Although it's small, it's very, very crowded and with astonishing buildings. Well, and I thought it would be something more typical coast.
Like a little town.
Yeah.
You were expecting.
It's Puerto Madryn.
First time there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my first time. So it's a Welsh.
There's a big Welsh community.
Big Welsh community.
A lot of tea house.
Yes, not in Puerto Madryn, in a place called Gaiman. Something funny is that Lady D went there to have tea, to a typical tea house owned by a Spanish guy.
This is Argentina. That's Argentina.
Yes,
you want to know Argentina?
Who closed the tea house after Lady D's visiting, after making a lot of money.
With Lady D?
Yep. Wow. And with the...
Did he make enough money with one visit? What, did he charge Lady D more than he should have?
No, but afterwards all people were saying, let's go there to take pictures. No. If you want to take pictures, you have to pay.
I heard about the tea house with Lady D.
It's very, very funny. Yeah.
It's okay.
So it's a great place to whale watching.
Watching the whale. Did you see the whales? 5.
Oh, at 10 feet from me.
Humpback, Australia.
Yes, Franca, Australia.
Exactly. I know the scientific name. Yes. It's what you would call humpback, but it's called Australis. No, I don't remember what.
Yeah.
It's typical of the South Atlantic, native to the South Atlantic.
I was just about this to see orcas.
Whoa.
I see seawolves, sea elephants.
Everything. Penguins?
No, in November. Penguins only in November. But I swam with the wolves. So
you swam with what?
Yes, with the sea wolves.
But those things are dangerous. I mean, those things are big, huge teeth. Well, okay.
Not that big, not that big.
They were worried about him.
Yes. They were worried about him. It was funny because
I wonder what they are saying in their podcast. The sea lions are saying there was a human.
A human, yes.
There was a human.
It was funny because they were shouting. I shout them back. So to see the reaction. So
you're like Dory in Finding Nemo.
Something like that.
Okay, great. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so now you know, visit Argentina, visit South America, visit the province of Chubut. To me, honestly, as an Argentino, Argentina has 24 provinces. Chubut is the most beautiful province in Argentina, and for what I know, in Latin America and South America, it is the most beautiful. I don't live there. I have never been born there, but to me, it's the most beautiful place you can visit. And having said that, we now have our guest who is wondering whether he's saying, what the fuck?
What are you doing here?
I'm a serious guy. He's chairman and director. Juan María Fernández, he's going to introduce himself as his chairman, working in London and Berlin, Asia Pacific with a CICLOPE production creativity festival, etc. And now he's here with us. This is a stain in your career. Let me
No,
tell
not at
you.
all. Thank you very
So
much for having me.
why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What do you do? What it is that you do? Your career, etc.
Yeah, well, basically, I'm the awards director at CICLOPE. CICLOPE is a film production festival. It's a 3-day conference in Berlin and an award show that's been running since 2010. It was born here in Buenos Aires. Actually, the 3 first editions were here in Buenos Aires, and then it moved to Berlin, and that's where we've been doing it for the last 15 years. And it's been, basically what happens in Berlin is a 3-day conference for about 1,500 people in Berlin that come people from all over the world, from Japan, US, Brazil, Argentina, South Africa, everywhere. And we have like 3-day program with conferences about film craft, especially in advertising, but also in music videos and feature films and short films. And then the end is the award ceremony, where we basically hand out trophies for best direction, best cinematography, best editing in the industry. So yeah, and me basically what I do is kind of I run the award side of it. I'm the director of awards. So what we do is basically just think about the categories and work on the categories to basically reflect what's happening in the industry. Choose the jurors, and then organize the judging and the award ceremony, obviously. Too.
Sorry,
So
I need
it's
to
kind of-
I need to know something. What is called Cyclope or Cyclope?
CICLOPE. Well, CICLOPE, it's very Spanish. It's very.
Great question.
It's funny because it's CICLOPE in Spanish because it was born here, and it's funny because a lot of people from around the world don't know how to say. It's Cyclope, CICLOPE. But we like it to be CICLOPE.
Did you ever consider changing it to Cyclops, which is
No.
Okay, it's good.
No. It is what it is.
Sounds exotic.
Yeah, it sounds exotic. Yes.
Okay, and what does
Does it have any meaning also?
No, of course, there's the eye, like having one eye, like having a vision.
Okay.
But also, there were in the Greek mythology, they were crafters, they were artisans.
Okay.
So
Great.
it also has that
Okay.
side to it, basically.
Okay, and what does an award director do apart from rejecting bribes, which I'm sure everybody's trying to give you?
Of course.
You do reject them.
Yes,
That's
yes,
your
of course,
first job.
of course.
Saying no. And second, what do you do?
And second, well, as I said, basically is each year we kind of work a lot on the categories, trying to see what can we add, what can we change. There are always like a lot of questions from the companies taking part, from the jurors. So each year we try to improve it to make it easier for everyone, to make it fairer for everyone. Then it's about again, getting the jury together. So it's basically finding the right people to judge the work that's been done during the year, which is kind of a puzzle, because you need to have people with different backgrounds, directors, people from agencies, people from brands, specialists in VFX, animators, people from sound and music. So, and people from all over the world. So it's pretty challenging, to create this panel of people that kind of again, represents what's happening in the industry and to make sure that they basically...
Categories could change from one festival to another, not from one year to another, but depending on the regions. For example, you have a festival in Latin America and in Asia Pacific, the global in Berlin. The categories are the same or change?
They change. So besides our main festival or flagship festival in Berlin, we have one in Latin America that's in Sao Paulo and one for Asia Pacific. We're doing it in Sydney now. But in the regional ones in Latin America and Asia Pacific, we have much fewer categories. They're smaller because again, the volume of work is smaller. In Berlin, it's a global festival, so we get entries from everywhere, including these regions. So there's enough volume to feed all the categories.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's move to one of our subjects, and I believe was one of the most interesting debates in advertising, creativity, media, etc. around the world right now. And it is this. I mean, you as an awards director, especially, you are a curator of people. So you know mostly everyone who's anyone is known by you, right? You know, and perhaps we can agree on that everywhere there is this debate on the use of artificial intelligence. So that would be one of our subjects we want to explore with you, how it is impacting the landscape. What could you tell us about the impact of artificial intelligence in advertising in general, like in marketing services, advertising, creativity, media, etc.?
Yeah.
Let's go from big to.
Yeah, I mean, of course, well, AI is the big theme subject. I haven't been to. I mean, yeah, you see it everywhere. Everyone's talking about AI. From our side, from my side, especially, I'm more in touch with people in production companies and also in agencies, but mostly with production companies. And I think there in that universe, there's still some reluctance, to openly use AI to basically to generate images. Everyone use it and they acknowledge it, in their processes, in their workflow, especially in treatments made by directors. I mean, I think it helps them to make decisions earlier or make better decisions earlier, because they can create shots or images that will be close to what's going to be at the end, as the final images. So they can work with more real stuff. So it's having an impact, especially I think in VFX, in animation, in post-production.
Okay.
That those are the areas that I think they're having more.
Okay.
They're being more impacted by it.
No, is it seen different now that it was perhaps a year ago when you use artificial intelligence for your production? Now the directors are seen different than perhaps they were more criticized perhaps a year ago than today.
Yes, I think that slowly it's getting into the industry. I believe that many more traditional film production companies still don't use it and still are again a bit reluctant to do it. And again, I think there are some issues that the industry and the world probably needs to still discuss, like the copyright issues and a lot of legal issues that say, okay, this is something that we need to be really careful with. But yeah, and it's in the conversation, and you see in CICLOPE, what we see also in CICLOPE is we see smaller production companies and new studios that are working and who want to be part of the conversation, and as they're starting to be part of the conversation because they have what it takes to be part of the conversation. They're creating great work. So yeah, but I think again, it's still some reluctancy. So basically that's also one thing that this year in Berlin, we created like kind of a whole section with categories for AI they are separate from the other categories. Okay. So they're not going to be judged by the same jury, but they're going to have a separate jury because we think that it's good to do it that way, to be more fair. And again, and also to avoid, I think people should avoid being like penalize the work because it's been done with AI.
Okay.
And at the same time, I think it's important to not be like completely amazed by, oh, look at what they did with AI, to be.
What is getting people reluctant? I have two questions that are intertwined. The first is, what is making all these people reluctant? Like, is it the creation of the idea by an AI GPT or whatever? Or is it the execution? And I know those are totally intertwined. That's what I say.
Yes.
But what is the part? Because when I speak to creatives, be it in cinema or literature or whatever, creative people, they dread the idea of a GPT having the idea. But not so much the execution, because in the execution phase is more a tool and eventually it will work. So what do you see in advertising?
Yes. No.
Perhaps that's not a debate.
Sure. No. I think that that in craft it's still something that it's kind of in conflict, because I think there are filmmaking involves a lot of people, a lot of processes, and very human processes. And I think that's something that we need to basically take care of and be aware that there are things that we need to protect somehow. I mean, I think to me, this is very personal, but I think that, again, filmmaking involves many people. And I think that things that happen in those environments where you have a lot of people working in one thing, that can't be replaced, that cannot be replaced by one person with a machine.
Okay.
Even though he has the right tools and great tools, I think there's some stuff about the human dynamics and that cannot be replaced. And of course, I think there is fear of being replaced because maybe it's for business, it's better to make it with, cheaper and faster. But I think that's gonna be,
Let's dive into that side of, I think it's the other side of the same coin. Although they may be still trying to protect the freshness of the creator, of the crafter. But also AI seems to be seen as the level playing field, because in places or countries where the economics are not so good or the costs are not so good, AI may simplify the creation process or the production process, so the people from this kind of places can compete with London or New York or any other more evolved economy. How do you see that? Is what we think it is, or it has nothing to do?
At some point, yes. I think that AI lets you, gives you tools to be close to, to the big productions. You can get closer to it. I don't think that they're kind of in a head-to-head competition yet. I don't think you can.
Okay.
They're at the same level, to be honest, because again, I think that a big production involves not only tools, but also people, and people with knowledge, and people, again, I'm thinking of a production with a great director and a great DOP and a great production designer. There's a lot of great talent involved in a production. But I agree that in I'm thinking, for example, in Latin America, I think that's important tool to raise a bit the bar of craft in terms of what can be done, and also allows directors or young directors without a budget to also try new things, try new shots that can be impossible to do without a huge budget.
Okay. And are you seeing different levels of integration in the different regions with AI and the traditional production, or currently they are all doing quite the same? Not in Latin America or in Berlin, in different festivals, the AI integration with the production is at the same level, or someone are using more than the others?
Yes, I think that in Asia probably they are more open to use AI, and I think they have always been more open to integrate technology and to take it to push the boundaries in that sense. And actually this year in Asia Pacific, I had a conversation with someone in China who was saying, I mean, here the people really don't have a problem. It's not an issue for them, to use AI or not use it. They're just using it. It's a tool. They want to use it, and they want to take the most out of it, make the most out of it. So while in other regions, I think Europe is probably the most conservative in some places. Again, more protective, of their industry. And in Latin America, I think it related to what he was mentioning. I think that using it to do more with the budgets that we have in the region, it's something that's
so at some point I would like to dwell exactly into that. That is the business side of this coin, of this issue. I went to see did you guys see The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan?
Not yet.
Nobody in this hall, including our producer, our executive producer, nobody has been. That's especially the moment in which you can spare 3 hours.
Watching waves.
Well, you were on a boat, exactly like Matt Damon.
Yes.
Exactly. So we're exactly with the Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys do yourself a favor, go see The Odyssey by Christopher.
Okay.
This segment is sponsored by CICLOPE Films and the Nolan production. Okay, so I went to see the Odyssey. I envy Matt Damon's biceps. I have to say this.
Okay.
It's okay.
It's not AI?
No, I don't think so. No, that is Matt Damon.
Post-production.
Perhaps it could. I don't think so. And one of the things that came to mind is it's mostly without CGI, without VFX, without. Christopher Nolan said we didn't use artificial intelligence in anything. You can see the craft, the production, etc. It feels like it's extremely real. But the other thing I was thinking is, what about young producers who are not Christopher Nolan? They don't have Miranda Nolan as a producer. They don't have CICLOPE Films, etc., etc., etc.
Jack Zimmer as musician.
Exactly, Hans Zimmer as a musician, and all of this crew to film in 7 countries, blah, 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 blah. But they do have a powerful idea. And it seems to me that once again in the history of art, and I know advertising is part science, part art, in the history of art and creativity, it seems to me that once again we're into this clash of the new vanguard and the old establishment. And the establishment has the power, the influence, the money, and sets the rules. And at some point, there's a group of newcomers, perhaps younger people or older in age, but with new ideas and new needs that adopt this technology. And these opposing forces are going to clash, and eventually there's going to be an outcome. I could give you several examples, but let's stay with this idea of the establishment versus the new. Is this, correct me where I'm wrong on this reasoning?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to think it as a clash.
Okay.
I'd rather see it as more as a conversation or as something that
You're so polite.
Very polite, very polite.
Yes,
No, but really, I mean, I think it's not a matter of it's one or the other. I think it's coexisting. It's coexisting, and again, it's polluting each other. You know, it's like a conversation in that term. Also, it's like, well, how it's been until today. Probably, I think that young directors or young creatives, they find the way and they find the tools to do stuff. And I think that's what they have on their side, is that they're very real. Even though they don't have Nolan's budget, it's still very real, and probably more real, even more real than I think that's basically the kind of the answer to this whole conversation, of this whole question. I think that keeping it human and real, it doesn't depend so much on the. I mean, I don't think that it's, again, humanity or AI. I think it's how you use the AI to make things real, and to make things real and real things. Sorry.
That is great, because it's. Go ahead.
No, and do you think that we are judging differently the production that is made by AI than the one that is made the traditional way? That if it's not good and if it's done by AI, it's a shit. And perhaps if it's the same commercial but it was done with the traditional methods and way by humans, you judge them differently.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, can be, again, because one, it's like, okay, they at least they tried. You know, they tried to. They were humans, and again, you can see that there was an effort behind. You can probably value the effort and the.
We have a commercial a month or 2 months before the World Cup, where the company paid for Leandro Paredes' image rights, but they did a commercial without Paredes, just with an avatar, and it's something that you are seeing also in other countries. Some things like that are happening. To pay for the right of some an artist, whatever, but then didn't use the artist.
To be honest,
itself?
I don't know, but I think in those cases it's when you see that things are not real, that you can say that that's not real, and that's something that's definitely not it doesn't do any favor to the brand, because I think, again, if you use the AI to say something real and to create something that is and feels real, that's fine. But when you miss so much, because
there was no need to use AI in that case.
Yeah.
Leandro Paredes, but I'm sorry to interrupt you both, but we had this conversation.
No, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Now, we had this conversation with another friend of the show, Santiago Oliveira, and what Santi was saying is that perhaps this is a new era in which there was another episode that you should see. It's in Spanish, but you should see about advertising. And what Santiago, which is one of the leading creative and advertising executives in Latin America, said is that perhaps we're ushering into a new era in which you hire someone's image, but you don't use the actual person to create the commercial. So that's cheaper.
Yeah, probably
so
it was
perhaps
cheaper.
they hire. This is not mine. This is Santiago, what he was saying, but makes perfect sense from a business point of view.
It's like the ebook.
I mean, yes, I want to make a commercial with Dua Lipa. Yeah. I would love to, but Dua Lipa is extremely expensive to get, ungettable for me.
Even the AI.
Of course. But let's assume for a moment that I could buy her rights for 3 seconds and use Grok. And she's here and she says, "Hi, Pato." And I'm like, woohoo, Dua Lipa said hi to me. And that cost me, I don't know, $5,000. If I had them, I would pay them for that.
For 3 seconds.
For having Dua Lipa say hello to me.
3 seconds.
Yes, even for 1 second too.
It's your money.
Okay. Have you seen Dua Lipa live like I did 5 meters away?
Okay.
You wouldn't judge me so harshly if you have been at that concert. Okay, so that's what I mean. And at some point, perhaps this is a new era in which AI is helping us do all of those things we wanted and couldn't.
Yes, but why? I mean, why do you need, again, is there a real need to do that? Again, I think, I think that's something that we should judge. When we judge something, we should also think, okay, was it like AI, the tool they had to use to do that? Or they said the same?
I don't have an answer, to be honest. I don't have an answer. The why would be, I have this idea and I cannot execute it unless I use AI. Just like me, let me think about an historical example because I have another one, but it's not the same. And perhaps it is when Gabriel Garcia Marquez, he went back from novels to journalism, and he published this amazing book, to me, his best book, that is News of a Kidnapping, Noticias de un Secuestro, and everybody and their mother went and slashed him because he had used Microsoft Word as a word processor in order to correct a little bit the first draft. And then there was his corrector, as he said, or he was a Nobel Literature Prize, so Nobel Prize, he has a team. But he used it and he said, look, it helped me organize my ideas because I don't have the same state of mind. He was older, he was feeling weaker, and it's a magnificent book. And everybody slashed him because of using and perhaps why? He had his own whys. And he was very forthcoming and open, but he could have said, just because I wanted. So we don't know the why, but we know the reason why. When somebody uses it, there must be some reason. Perhaps somebody's too shy to say, I don't have the money. In a place like advertising where everything is spend, go to Cannes, go to the CICLOPE, etc., spend money and show off how great you are, how prosperous you are. Perhaps they fear not getting the team. Perhaps they have been rejected because everybody thinks their idea is pure shit and they know deep inside it's a great idea. I don't know why. But perhaps the tool is an enabler.
Yes, but again, I think that it must be, kind of justified. I mean, it's part of thinking about commercials, right? Yeah. I mean, it's part of the job to find the right tools to say what you want to say. I understand what you mean, but again, I think that at the end, it's a matter of if it really moves you. Again, like you said, you saw that if I see this commercial with Paredes and say, this is shit. If the result was another one, okay, then probably it was well used. But I think it's a matter of
how you use the tool.
How you use it, again.
let's dive a little bit from there. I will make a mixture between possibilities, creativity, or boundaries and budgets. On the other hand, I don't know if you know the story when Campanella, Juan Manuel Campanella, tried to film Metegol. He wanted to make an animation picture. Campanella was working in the US, so he thought that in Argentina it would be even cheaper. And the creativity blocker or boundary was not creativity itself, it was the computational power of that age that puts a limit on what he can film. That's why in Metegol you don't see hair, because creating hair with computer-aided software costs a lot, and the rendering time it's even better. So he won't get the enough time to publish to publish a film.
Yes,
to publish a film.
Yes.
So there was a lot
to
of
screen it, perhaps.
technical boundaries for the creativity that can impact the spirit of the commercial. What do you think in terms that AI should cover that lack? That creators or crafters will still rely on their creativity, or will you rely on, I have the same time, I have the same money, let's get into AI and be a little bit more, let's say, lazy in terms of creativity because the computer-aided software now it's much more power than there. How do you see the?
Yeah. No, well, I think that's a good example of how I think that AI can be used well. You know, it's like, again, there's a detail that you can do for a budget or for technical reasons that there's something that you cannot do. Okay, let's use AI to cover that. To me, the problem is when AI becomes the idea or the core of the idea or the core of the film.
Okay.
If the film was just about, we have AI, let's do whatever we want with AI, that probably wouldn't work. But he had a story, he had characters, he had a lot of talent. And that case, I think that AI could have covered that.
We will get back to creativity and AI.
Yes, but I think you touch on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
You touch on a very important point that are the boundaries, and the boundaries of. What I mean is the computational power. I'm sure was there. I mean.
Yes, but it was so expensive.
Yes, and that's the point I want to
affordable.
I was not affordable. Yeah.
Thank you. Exactly. That's the point I want to get to. At some point, we all come back to this notion that we lose, me included, that this is a business. And this is business, and this is money, and there are companies involved, and there's a bottom line, and there's a balance of power. And one of the things that last year in April, I was lucky enough to share some time with Sir Martin Sorrell. Here's some name dropping. No, just dropping a name here and there. And Sir Martin was speaking about the savings Media.Monks and all the affiliate companies had given their clients by using artificial intelligence, including and most especially General Motors and other companies, right? And it was amazing because what we were talking about is if I were Mary Barra, so it's General Motors GM's CEO. I am not, of course. We all wish, but not happening. Okay, what would I do with that money? Because it was millions and millions and millions of dollars in savings. And what do we do? And the question is how to reinvest that money. Let's assume you don't bring that home. It's not a bonus. You reinvest in the company. The first place I would reinvest is in the brand. Create more pieces, more ideas, push again the boundaries. And that is great for the business, the advertising business itself, which is a business model that is shrinking.
But it's not what is happening.
Why?
Budgets are getting reduced because of AI.
But if you, let's assume budgets. Thank you. Budgets are being reduced.
Just for these days.
When you have some insight.
Yes, because when...
What would you like to share?
Because when today costs are subsidized, or however it may
subsidized.
Say.
We're getting the idea. Yeah.
So today you are getting AI for free. That
or just a few bucks, but
yes, it's for free. But I might say that very soon in time that prices will be getting higher. So I think that budget reduction is just it's just a marketing or kidnapping strategy.
Yes, when they have us enclosed in their...
Fact, Meta is charging differently if you use their own agents against WhatsApp than if you use another agent against WhatsApp. If you use the Meta agent, that costs, let's say, 1.
Okay.
If you use another agent against Meta, against WhatsApp, that costs 7.
But yes, let me tell you one very small thing going.
Yeah, sorry. Well,
part of the research of this very chapter we did with Grok.
Yeah.
Our producer Victoria, especially, and the likes. And when I was before coming, I wanted to go again back into some ideas. So I went into Grok and said, we have a dedicated chat. What about we say this and then the other thing? And the answers from Grok changed from this long, like yes, no.
Yeah,
I said, have I offended you at some point? No. And I realized we just run out of fucking tokens.
Yes.
We don't have enough tokens.
Yeah.
Once again, it's a matter of budgeting.
Yeah.
If this were CNN, we should be calling the CTO and say, buy more tokens. But CFO will say no or yes. Again, it's back. So how does this impact in these small production companies that once again they use artificial intelligence to break the mold? Yes, but then again, WPP can use them. Also, S4 Capital can use them. And I don't know, the Royal, some British Petroleum could use it.
Yeah.
So how do we work around that balance of power?
It's really hard, and actually, I think that it also. I mean, getting into a much bigger picture, it's also about politics. About who's running.
Okay. Good.
AI too. We're talking about Asia.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the States. I mean,
Yes.
it's a huge.
Yes.
It's a
huge thing.
It's more
a huge thing.
It's more a geopolitical thing than a technological thing. Yeah, I agree with you.
But yeah, and again, and we see. I've heard about companies saying, hey, the budgets are getting shrinking, and companies saying, hey, we could do this with Grok or with ChatGPT and $10. We could do this. So why do you need more money? But we also heard about brands that saying we're not using AI. I don't want to use AI like as a statement again.
Yes.
So I think like you said, in this clash,
Yes.
it's very it's kind of real and in every level, production companies and agencies and also in brands. I mean, for what I've
because
heard.
also, and I wanted to go back to the craft and the excellence because the CICLOPE is about crafting excellence, right? Or I'm sorry, excellence in crafting.
Yeah,
right? Am I right? Did I get it right?
Yeah.
It's not that much about the brilliantness, the explosiveness of the idea. It's much about the execution. Mm-hmm. And in the execution side, this issue is very important. How do you, as a director of awards, keep setting the bar high in the face of all these challenges? Because I'm sure this is a debate happening in juries.
Yeah, of course.
And juries are composed with very different people in age, background, size of their companies, etc. How do you manage this?
No, basically, well, I mean, I'm kind of really looking forward to see what happens this year, that we have this section of AI and we're going to have a dedicated jury. And like I said before, I mean, we kind of part of the criteria that we ask them to have, it's not just the excellence in craft, so in the result, but also it's how it is related to the idea and why they choose to do it, and I wouldn't like it to win if the answer is just the budget. Mm-hmm. I don't think they should be making those decisions because of budget. I understand that's happening, but at the level of work that we usually have in CICLOPE, I don't think that would be the right answer.
Okay.
We did it just because of the budget. So I think that the way the company or the entrant company kind of explains how they do it, why they do it, what was the original idea, and why they decided to go with a full AI production. That's good. That's part of the entry, and yeah, I'm really looking forward. It's going to be definitely very interesting to see what happens in the jury
It's
room.
a differentiator for luxury brands to film instead of using AI. Like, okay, this is AI. This is for lower budget not so luxury products or something like that.
For sure.
That's
Yes.
No, for sure. And of course, it's used in different levels. I think that brands, even probably like huge brands with a lot of budget, they still use AI for short clips for social media or for little stuff. But then they have a budget to do like a amazing short film, with a Hollywood director.
Dua Lipa.
With everything.
And me with for Nespresso.
Balancing budgets.
For balancing
budgets.
Me and Dua Lipa sharing an espresso. That would be amazing.
George Clooney was too expensive.
But it was too expensive, and then they sent.
We have to decide.
Exactly. There was a dog, and there was me, and they chose me. Exactly. Yes.
Let's jump back into.
The dog was more expensive than I.
But was not available.
A film with Dua Lipa. So what the fuck, guys? And who wouldn't?
Yes, definitely, it's something that differentiates a brand. And again, it's a statement of saying, okay, we believe in this and these real stories, human stories, and I think that's of value. Yeah.
Let's jump back into creativity and AI, and let me share what happens to me, and maybe we can build up on that. What at first time was something astonishing, nowadays, at least for me, is something that I see it's all the same. Every chart or film or sign that I see that is made with AI, I just find it all equal, all the same. The letter this size, in this position, the image in that position with that kind of colors. This is the typical font, or this is the typical thing that in the film you see. So I am getting tired of seeing the same thing, and I still don't know what product I am seeing.
Yes, and you can tell this shit was made by AI.
Yes.
And you don't like it, you despise it. You say, wow.
Am I something or strange guys that see the things like that, or that's something that may become common, and how do you judge it?
Yes. No, well, to me, sometimes the mistake, and getting back maybe to poor Paredes, but I think the mistake is trying to recreate a reality without acknowledging that it's AI. They're trying to make us believe. You feel like they want to make you believe that Paredes was there saying that.
Okay.
And you can say it wasn't like that. So if they had used AI to do something completely different and have Paredes having a conversation with Dua Lipa or not with AI, but with anything, with
He's going to be Michelle.
No, Mia will be happy for Leo Paredes. He's a world champion.
But not another person with a cartoon. I don't know, something different. Saying, okay, we're using AI to do something different and not to try to recreate reality.
That is the point.
I think that's the thing.
I think that is the point. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
But I think that is one of the nails in the thing. That is nailing it. I think the thing that people hate is when the idea was created and executed with artificial intelligence, and the result is shitty. And I remember once again, and we spoke about this, and it was amazing. You see the Christmas commercial by Coca-Cola. I mean, the Coca-Cola company, the mother
with the
of
polar
all,
bear.
No, that was CGI a long time ago. Yeah. It was greatly executed for the moment. No, the one is 2025. That there was a kind of Polar Express. It was the worst commercial in commercial history. And we're talking Coca-Cola. This is the mother of all brands. They do everything right. And when they got the chance to do it it was shit. And let me tell you, sorry, for anyone that has made it, I'm sorry. That's my opinion. I'm sorry.
He's saying that it was very bad.
Yeah, it was very bad, yes. And the thing was,
subtitles.
What I first thought is this guy played it cheap.
Okay.
They didn't use as much power, much budget they could. They played it cheap. They lived on the cheap, and they said, let's get someone with ChatGPT and let's GPT this idea. Well, there's a Polar Express. They say blah 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 blah, and that is what people despise from brands. That is my thesis around artificial intelligence. I think the problem is when they try to have an idea with AI and not a great idea of a human mind aided with AI.
Yeah, but I think it's part of the process, right? At some point, people will stop thinking of a traditional commercial and trying to make it with AI, and we'll start thinking, okay, we already have this tool available, let's do something different. And not try to hide it, not try to make it look real when it's not real. I don't know.
Well, we're going to go, before we go into our last segment of this program, and we thank you for your time and your patience.
Right.
Let me do one last question. It is, what about the future? And when I think about the future,
Good point.
I was thinking about, 1982, I saw the movie Tron by Disney. That's how old I am. I saw it in the theater.
And much more.
Yes, and much more. Yeah, I saw Star Wars Episode 4.
Yeah, me too.
1977. 1977, exactly. So I don't have a problem with that. To the contrary, much proud. And there was this debate because there was used computer generated. And we have the Garcia Marquez. One thing that I keep thinking about is when the photograph technology came in the mid-19th century, there was this backlash again because all the painters would lose their job. But thanks to that technology, and painfully, many people who adapted lost their jobs or not, and those who didn't, of course, did. The world was able to develop a Pablo Picasso, a Van Gogh, a Manet, a Monet, a Frida Kahlo, whomever you think about expressionism or abstractionism, etc. And it opened the boundaries of the human mind. Because everything we have now is based on what happened 150 years ago in France and all of those. What do you see? You're in a unique position to see or try to foresee the future. So put yourself as if you were in Paris, in Montmartre, 1860, and now you're in Berlin, 2026. And try to give us a vision in the next 20, 30 years of creativity,
or just a week at least.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Come on. It's
a lot. 20 years.
I am going to say this to all of our audience.
I'm in a unique position between those two
Yes.
guys.
No,
so
okay.
it's like- No. I think that, again, as everything, as every change, like you said, it's a step by step. Of course, there are kind of revolutions, or we present as revolutions and clashes and something very apocalyptic. But I think it's a step by step thing. So the core will keep on changing. I mean, advertising has been changing since it started, and it will keep on changing because everything changes. But yeah, I think that nowadays we're kind of in the middle of this little steps with AI. So that's why we feel that's so overwhelming, and it's fastest than everything that we've lived before. I think that it's different to other changes. But yeah, I think that, like, again, the core of how brands communicate won't change. Of course, the tools change, the audience change, the channels change, and I wish I was younger to.
Juan, do you think that
we always
to understand?
Me too. To do so many things.
You think that AI is still immature in terms of how it's impacting the advertising industry? Because on my point of view, it's one of the places where you can have some return on investment. Meaning in advertising, code creation, and in some point in marketing. Do you still see that it's still immature and we have to let it grow, or it's a point where we're getting real benefit from that?
No, I think it's still growing, it's still maturing. I think we're still not there, you know. And again, it's probably gonna be fast. But I think it's something that's still in process. Actually, one thing that we notice talking about film production and advertising, is that there's a lot of work and great work done, but that it's more experimental, or they do spec commercials. They're not real commercials, but spec commercials. And there's great work, but they're not real. There isn't a brand behind saying,
a real brand, actual work.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna invest in this. So I think we're still not there. Again, I'm talking about fully AI production, with generating images. Yes. Most of there's a lot of work done, but that it's more experimental. So that's why also I feel that it's still not completely.
Okay, great.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to go to the last segment of our show, which is called the Rapid Fire. And the Rapid Fire is where we pose questions to our guest, and perhaps between ourselves. So, who wants to start? You want to start?
I have.
Yes, Eduardo. Edu has.
I word my mind.
Okay. Yes.
Juan, we know two things from you besides what you have told us along the episode. That you are a fan of River Plate. It's one of our
nobody's perfect.
Biggest. It's a problem. That's not for me. But it's one of our biggest football teams in Argentina. And you're fond of music.
Yes.
So we are going through those oceans in terms of rapid fire. My first question is, it will be related to River Plate, and it will be Ramón Díaz or the Muñeco Gallardo?
Ramón Díaz.
Why?
Why? Because I grew up with him. I grew up watching him as a football player and as a
coach.
As a coach, yeah.
Great. Beto Alonso or Enzo Francescoli?
Francescoli.
Again, why?
No, again, I mean, because I grew up with looking at him and it's amazing. Yeah.
Okay. Should we jump into music?
No, you prepare a lot of questions, so go ahead.
Okay. Oasis or Blur?
Oasis.
Okay.
Yes.
You also like punk music, don't you?
Yes.
Punk music.
Ramones or The Clash?
It's a hard one. It's the hardest, I would say, because I started listening to punk music with Ramones.
Yeah.
But then years later, I discovered The Clash, and it was like
once again being polite.
Very polite. Well,
he's making his point. He's saying that's why he preferred The Clash.
But he's extremely polite. That's why he has such a job. He's like a diplomat.
Okay. So you prefer The Clash?
No, Ramones.
Ramones.
Yeah.
Ramones.
Yeah.
I should change my.
God save the Queen. That's most amazing.
I must change my.
And in general, British punk or American punk?
There's no such thing as an American punk. It's all British.
There was a lot of 90s. In the 90s, there were a lot of
there were a lot of
This is a very different.
The Offspring.
Actually, so Social Distortion is coming to.
Yes.
Yes. I get the tickets with them. No, but I'd rather British.
Okay.
UK punk, yes.
Mick Jones or Joe Strummer?
Mick Jones.
Why?
Because I feel like I love Joe Strummer too, but I see him more like a character, Joe Strummer.
Okay.
I see Mick Jones a bit more relaxed, with his character, with his.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this
and
one will be
pop also.
Okay. Yeah. It will be the hardest one. Rock the Casbah. Or should I stay or should I go?
No, Rock the Casbah.
Why?
No, should I stay or should I go? It's like obladi, oblada, for the Beatles.
It's undecisive also. It's very undecisive. No, but you're punk. Yeah. You need to do something.
Yeah, exactly. You don't ask.
Exactly. You don't ask. You just do. Throw the fucking bottle and break everything. Yes. Me, I have another different question. It is, just forget for a moment the CICLOPE Festival.
Yes.
And if you had to choose between the advertising, I'm talking about creativity and advertising, the Clio Festival and Cannes Festival, which one would you choose in terms of investing, if you were advertising? Which one do you prefer and for why?
It's a hard one. Because to be honest, I haven't been to the Clio ever.
Okay. Which one did you go as opposed to?
No, one that I really like is the NAD.
I
think that's a place where you can really see good stuff. yeah.
Okay, and in terms of juries, and this is a question I always wonder, especially since Bob Dylan won the Nobel Prize, and I'm a big follower of the Nobel Prize. Do you think that at some point the Nobel Prize will begin? I know you're not in the Nobel Committee yet. You will sometime. Just let us know. But do you think at some point the Nobel Committee will begin giving awards in what is called literature, but also to people who are, I don't know, speechwriters, filmmakers, anyone who's telling a tale? I know I won't venture ever to say advertising because that's a lot, but I don't know, perhaps the Coca-Cola company deserves a Nobel Prize in literature because of the narrative and the story they have been telling for the last 150 years. I always wonder that in terms of a brand, but also in terms of, I don't know, screenwriters, filmmakers, musicians, anybody who's generating culture. What do you think about that?
That's not a good idea.
Why so? Why so? Okay.
No, I don't know.
Which part? I'm sorry, including advertising or
yes,
just
including advertising.
Okay.
Because again, going back to your own, what's its business at some point? So it's another.
Well,
it's a different.
Coetzee also lives of his work. I mean, literature is also
of course.
a business.
Yes, but no, of course, yeah.
Okay.
But it's not the. I don't think it's the same. But well, it's a.
What about filmmakers?
I think they could maybe. Again, I think that the Nobel Prize for Literature, it's about words and about lyrics in Bob Dylan's case, but yeah, I think that the screenwriter could definitely.
Okay.
I would definitely consider it.
Well, Mati?
No.
Okay.
No more questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 34, 32, 31. What? Okay.
30-something.
30-something. We've lost in translation. We've totally lost the narrative of Finance Rockstars. Our aim is to bring you ideas about what is going on in the world. In this case, we thank Juan especially for taking the time to speak with us. We know you're on a busy schedule, so we really appreciate it. And we're going to close it up saying that you can find more about us in all your favorite platforms, streaming platforms. That's Apple Podcast, that's Spotify, that's Twitch, wherever you find your favorite podcast at Finance Rockstars. You can write to us at Finance Rockstars, hello@financerockstars.net, and you can know more of our parent company, Moore Business Embassy, at www.m as in mother, B as in Bravo, E as in echo.com.ar. We are sponsored by Snickers, the bar that is juicy, great, and doesn't get you fat.
Great catering.
Great catering. Thank you very much to our producer. We are produced by Ignacio Nacho Herbojo in the city of Buenos Aires, and we are produced also by Victoria Capdeviel, and we are
Matías Tejero,
Eduardo Martínez,
our special guest,
Juan María Fernández,
and I am Patricio Cavalli. Thank you very much.